lovely city. If you do see anything else, or you can update me, call 01603 617 321. Mysterious disappearances, an international conspiracy, and life on other planets. It all came together in 1977 in one of Anglia TV's most celebrated programmes called Alternative 3. Made in the style of a documentary, it was actually a spoof. It fooled many, due to it being an April Fool's hoax, which didn't actually go out in April. Next week, the East Anglian Film Archive is putting on a free screening of the programme in Norwich to mark the programme's 40th anniversary, and they're keen for anyone who was in the cast or the crew or even one of the viewers of its one and only transmission to come along and watch it again and have a discussion. Tea Time producer Paul Hayes has been finding out more about this curious bit of local TV history. Monday the 20th of June 1977, Norwich's Anglia Television broadcast perhaps the most extraordinary piece of investigative journalism ever conducted. Or did they?
Robert Patterson, university lecturer in mathematics, married, 2 children. Brian Pendlebury, 22, RAF trained in electronics. Dr. Anne Clark, research scientist specializing in solar energy. 3 people who joined the brain drain and were never seen again. What has their disappearance got to do with the long, hot summer of '76? And what is their connection with this famous astronaut?
It was the first idea was a script by a friend of mine, David Ambrose, the writer who we were working with on another subject. And then he has submitted his first draft play about disappearing people to Anglia.
Christopher Miles was the director of Alternative 3, a drama made in the style of a documentary, originally intended for broadcast on the 1st of April.
He hadn't really, it was his first draft, he hadn't really come to any final conclusion about the thing, and it was turned down by the board, and he came to me and said, have I got any ideas to put it together? So we had a meeting that very, very hot summer, and David's wife is a well-known sculptress called Laurence, and she had on her kitchen table a copy of Paris Match, the famous French magazine, in which on the cover there was the first photographs ever of the first landings on Mars. And as we were talking, I said to David, look, you haven't really told me where these people are disappearing to. And then I said, well, why don't we say they've gone to Mars? And it was literally over that conversation and lunch that we cooked up the whole idea of a false documentary proving that Mars was now habitable. And we gave this idea to the Anglia Television Board again, and they again turned it down. But the CEO of Anglia was a lovely man who used to be a feature film producer called Sir John Wolfe, and he overruled the board and said, no, I want the boys to have a go, and we'll make this show, which we did.
Dr. Tim Snelson is one of those behind next week's anniversary screening of Alternative 3 in Norwich.
I work at the East Anglian Film Archive, and we hold all the Anglia television material. And it was through, I'd sort of heard rumours almost, but it was really through the archive that I discovered this sort of gem and this sort of really significant piece of media history that had, although it's got this incredible cult following and that the program's screened all over the world and continues to sort of foster all this dialogue, there hadn't been that much academic attention on this particular program. So I really wanted to sort of to try and because it's such an important part of Anglia TV history but wider media history to try and do something with that.
What I wanted to do with the show was to show that the public are being manipulated every day of their lives by the media. It's what you see and how it's used by directors and producers to manipulate, or should we say, just simply say, their point of view. And so we didn't try and fool the viewer.
The review of Alternative 3 in the Times perhaps best summed up the attitude of the press towards maintaining the element of surprise.
Since most journalists have a lower lip you can step on, the year's worst kept secret was that Alternative 3 was a spoof. Begged some time ago by Anglia not to blow the gaff, the press show audience sprang immediately from their chairs and ran down Fleet Street bearing the gaff on a 10-foot pole.
The tabloids seem to have entered into the spirit of the thing a little more, with the Daily Express playing along perhaps even a little too enthusiastically.
I urge anyone who cares about the future of our planet to watch this programme, which goes out simultaneously in Australia, New Zealand, Canada and Iceland. The startling facts it presents about Russian and American moon landings, people disappearing on transatlantic flights, and the realities of space travel are unbelievable.
That's to upfront the show. That was pre the broadcast, because at the end of the film we clearly show all the actors who took part in the film and the parts they played. We also said on the end credit that this film was made on April the 1st, 1977.
Is there any truth in the rumour since that it was originally meant to go out on April the 1st, or is that not true?
That's true. There was industrial disputes going on, and Anglia Television was a bit down the line of the queue. I think you all had to bargain to get your place, and they lost out, and so it couldn't be transmitted on April the 1st.
Despite not ending up being shown on April Fool's Day, Christopher had taken inspiration from an earlier TV April Fool, Panorama's famous spaghetti trees.
I took the sort of leaf out of their book, really. They got the eminence grise, the great voice of Dimbleby, who used to do the coronation, that sort of thing. So he was the voice of the spaghetti harvest, and my link man was Tim Brinton, who used to read the news on ITV.
These three people joined the brain drain, apparently to take up new careers abroad. In fact, they disappeared off the face of the earth. What happened to them and 21 others like them? Using hidden cameras, we tried to find out.
Alternative 3 celebrates its Ruby anniversary next Tuesday, the 20th. So what does the East Anglian Film Archive have planned for its special screening?
There will be a screening of Alternative 3, and then we'll have a Q&A with Christopher, and you get to ask some questions and talk to him about your experience. Were you taken in by Christopher's hoax?
Perhaps there may even be some attending the screening who've come to try and uncover the real truth. On YouTube copies of the programme, you can find plenty of people who think there's more to this than the official story.
Well, this seems to be written as fiction, but the writer must have known some truth about UFOs and put it in.
Reality to the fiction of this story, you know. Right now, we have several countries and corporations planning manned missions to Mars.
Information it reveals isn't authentic. This was a case of double bluffing. The Russians.
So, did people really think it was real? Or were they simply upset to find they'd been had? The ITV regulator certainly seemed displeased. Here's what the Times had to say 3 days after the broadcast.
Permission to broadcast Anglia Television's play Alternative 3 on Monday without a warning to the public may have been a misjudgment, the Independent Broadcasting Authority said yesterday. The play led to many letters and complaints by viewers to Anglia and the IBA. Some, the company said yesterday, accused Anglia of bad taste and irresponsibility.
Here in Norfolk, the Eastern Daily Press and the Eastern Evening News had both previewed the programme in a fairly straight manner. The day after broadcast, the EDP reported,
Anglia Television's telephone answering machine in Norwich is likely to play back some interesting messages today following last night's sensational science report, Alternative 3. The machine was engaged almost constantly from 10 p.m. when the programme ended until well after midnight, as viewers phoned in to find out more about the programme.
The EDP didn't exactly help matters, though, by printing a review by their TV critic directly below this report, which treated the whole thing as if it had been a genuine documentary. The Evening News added,
Storm of protest over Anglia TV hoax. Viewers jammed ITV switchboards last night when they realised they'd been conned into believing disturbing scientific facts.
The following week, the Daily Mirror gave two contrasting views from its readers.
Congratulations to Anglia TV on their excellent programme Alternative 3, a timely reminder of how easily a population can be taken in by unscrupulous propaganda, just as the Germans were by Hitler. Let us hope we'll all be more wary of the truth.
Anglia TV diminished the entire credibility of current affairs programmes.
What I want to show is that people don't watch carefully. They superimpose their own wishes and imaginations onto a film. And if they'd watch carefully at the end credits, and there they have it, all the actors are up there on the screen. And so, you know, if you just watched that, you would have known it was a dramatic reconstruction. So, I mean, you know, in all fairness, we did tell everybody.
They never told us much. Just that Robert, my brother, had got this grant to do some kind of work out there. And that's the last we heard.
40 years on, we can enjoy Alternative 3 for what it is, a well-made hoax, without having to worry about it being a real indicator of the end of the world. But then again, perhaps I'm part of the mainstream media conspiracy. So I would say that, wouldn't I?
We apologise for the technical problem at the end of Paul Hayes' report, which resulted in incorrect information being broadcast. Please disregard what you just heard. Everything is fine. Everything is absolutely fine. We now return you to your normal programming.
So just science fiction, or was it? You can judge for yourself. A week today, the special anniversary screening of Anglia TV's Alternative 3. I don't think we've ever seen or heard anything quite like it since. It's a unique part of TV history, and it emanated from Norwich, and this anniversary screening is going to be at the Forum in Norwich, Tuesday the 20th, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the evening, 40 years to the day since it went out on the ITV network. Director Christopher Miles will be there, we heard him just now, and he'll be here in person as a special guest, and as you heard, they're very keen for anyone who worked on the production, or appeared in it, or even people who just remember it going out to come along, join in with the discussion. It's a free screening on a first come, first served basis though, so do get there early.